Hey everyone, it is Monday, November 2nd, the day before Election Day, and I'm here to make a quick video on your upcoming Essay 1 first draft. So remember, in this class we do two drafts for an essay, the first draft and the final draft. The first draft you try to get as good as possible, but you don't have to worry about getting it perfect because you're going to revise the first draft to the final draft. So the important thing with the first draft is to write it about your topic, your approved topic, to meet the minimum requirement of 750 words. And remember that you also need to do an analysis of your essay after the draft. So let's take a look at the Essay 1 speech requirement. Right? So you are meeting that 750 word requirement for the first draft. And I'm going to show you in a bit, you're using the MLA format, which is what? It's typed, it's double spaced. Your name, my name, the class, the date, double spaced are on the top left. And you save it in a .doc, .docx, or .rtf file format. I cannot accept PDFs. Do not send me PDFs because I have to be able to open it, process it, and type comments in it, which I need for one of these formats. So the best thing to do is to type it in a Microsoft Word document. And we're going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to show you how, once again, remember, you can download the Microsoft Word program for free, made available by Pima College. Okay, so the first draft, you're writing your speech, you're following these guidelines, and after the speech, you're writing an analysis. The analysis starts when your speech ends. Type the word analysis. The analysis is 200 words. What is the analysis? You are analyzing the specific strategies you used. You're going to tell me in that analysis, did you use emotional appeals? Where did you use emotional appeals? Did you use ethical appeals? How did you use that? What were your techniques for trying to persuade your listener? Did you use some logical appeals? So not to say you have to use all three, you can decide, but you want to show me in that analysis what you did to try to persuade your essay. Try to persuade the listener in your essay. Okay, so you need both parts. So for full points for the rough draft, you need at least 750 words or longer for the actual speech, and then you need at least 200 words for the actual analysis. Okay, great. So let's go back up to the home page, the main page here. So remember, if you need the Microsoft Word program, just go to this link here, MS Office 365, click on that, and you'll be asked to put in your Pima email, and then you'll have one free download of Microsoft Office. In this version includes Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Okay, so let's say you have typed your paper, and you've typed it as a Word document, and you've saved it on your computer, and you then want to upload it. So for you, you'll be able to go to assignments. It's not a discussion. You don't type it into the discussion box. You will upload it to a folder, a submission folder. So my program doesn't look like yours, but when you click on your speech, Essay 1 first draft, remember this is the first draft, you should have a little link or button that says upload or submit. And you'll click on that and you'll upload it from your computer into the submission folder, draft folder that will keep your paper safe so that I can look at it. And you should get a notification that it has successfully uploaded. Okay, so you've typed it as a Word document. Let's look a little bit at the formatting. So if I go onto my computer, I am using a Mac, but if I open up my word processing program, I have Microsoft Word for Mac. an old version, but still works. So if I open up my document and I get a blank page here, I'm going to go up here and MLA, the modern language format that we use in this class, says that Times New Roman, that font, Times New Roman, or Arial is the font you want to use. This is not the standard font for Microsoft Word, so you have to pick it. Arial is right there. So either Arial or Times New Roman in 12-point font. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do on my Word program here for Mac is I'm going to make sure that my line spacing is right there, 2.0, not single spaced, double spaced. I'm also going to go down to line spacing options and make sure that with the spacing before and after it is 0, 0, which is the default that I have set up. That's not the most important thing. If you can do it, it's great. The most important thing is to select 2, right? So here, then to start off the paper, you are going to type your name right there. Don't use a header because then it will tend to repeat on every page. You just want it on the first page. So you type your name. Hit enter. Then type my name. Instructor Dorsey, right? Hit enter. Then type the class, which is Writing 101. Then type the date. Let's say you're going to turn it in on November 4th, 2020. Perfect, right? Hit enter and double space. Now you've been at the left align for the margin, so you're going to click on center and then type your title for your essay. The first letter of each major word in your title is capitalized. It is not bolded or made big. It's not a 14 font. It's not bolded or underlined. It's just regular. Hit enter again, and then you've centered the title, so you have to go back and make sure that you move the margin back to left align. Now, to start a paragraph, you have to hit the tab button once because that will start your paragraph, right? You will indent to start your paragraph. Each paragraph is indented. And then, of course, you type to the end of the line, and it automatically scrolls down in its double-spaced format because that's what you've selected. If you try to double-space it after you've typed it single-spaced, you can go back and do it, but sometimes it causes more troubles. So I would try it this way. Okay, so that's a little bit on that MLA format. Now, a few people said they might need to use a little bit of research. Remember, the whole point is mostly you're using personal experience. But let's say you do use a few facts, a couple of facts from somewhere, which could be good for your logo strategy. So if you take an exact quote or words from a source, you have to use quotation marks. If you just take a fact and put it in your own words, that's fine. You don't need quotation marks. But always when you use a fact anywhere from research, you must cite it. So what does that mean? So let's say I have added a fact here from research, such as the internet, an internet site, internet-based research site, right? Period. So I've added the fact there. At the end of that sentence, I am going to type in the last name of the author. Let's say the last name of the author for that article I used where I got a fact was Garcia. Great, so I'm going to type in his last name and that's it. Now let's say you use a source, but it doesn't have a author, right? So if it has no author, I'm going to use the title. Not the title of the website, the title of the specific web page that I got the information from. So let's say the title of the web page was Facts on Diabetes. Okay? Perfect. I type that in. That's the title of the article, and I put a period at the end of the sentence. Okay, so that's all well and good, right? If you do use research, then you have to type in what's called a works cited page. So we'll just pretend this is the end of the paper, I'm going to type in the word "we're excited," and that means, let me go down here, that will give the reader, so here is your paper. Here you're going to do your analysis, right? Here's the analysis of my persuasive strategies, right, that I used in my essay. Perfect. And if you use research, then you do have to have a works cited page. So what has to be on the works cited page? Well, I will show you. You have to have the last name, comma, first name of the author of the article that you used. You then have the title of the article or web page. You then have the title of the publication or the website. And you have a comma, then you have the date, if available, and then you have the HTTP address. And the second line of MLA citations are indented 5. If you had no author, then you would have this. You would just take out the last name, first name, and you would start with the title of the article. Okay, and whatever shows up down here must have the same thing that starts it here. So if Garcia is added here on my works cited page, I'm going to look for Garcia. If there's no author, but we have facts on diabetes, then this citation here is going to start with facts on diabetes, right? So there's a correspondence. So this is only if you're using a bit of research. If you're not using research, then of course you don't have to worry about the works cited page at this time. Okay, so I'm going to save this and send this out to you all. So now you know basically how to, find your, under assignment, your speech essay 1 first draft folder, right? You know how to download the Microsoft Word program if you need it, and I can only accept .doc or .docx or .rtf file formats, no PDFs. You know the basic formatting of how the paper should look in terms of the font, the double spacing, the spacing. You know to include the analysis part at the end for full points for the draft, right? So hopefully, this has basically helped a bit. The last thing I'm going to mention is our next discussion, which is the peer review. So you are going to post your paper, and then you are going to review 2 other people's papers. So let's go down here and see real quickly what this is about. So I'll open this up the day that the essay deadline for the essay comes up, which is the 4th of November for full credit there. I will open up this. So after you submit and upload your draft to the submission folder, you are going to post a copy of it. You can cut and paste it into the discussion box, or you can attach it with a link, right? Add it as a file to the discussion. And then you're going to provide feedback to 2 classmates. Ideally, you're going to respond to the person who posted before you and after you. If that doesn't work, pick 2 people, but hopefully that will be the case. Here's a little video on peer review. And then the important thing with the peer review, the only way to get credit on the peer review is you must use the peer review essay form. So let's click on that. When we click on that, hopefully it opens up, and you will see the questions for the peer review. So when you are reviewing another student's essay, it's not just type a couple of general comments and move on. This is actually an assignment where you have some questions and you want to answer the questions as well as you can for each part of the essay. And then you can, let's see, let me try to download it since it's going to take some time. I'm going to OK that. Okay, so here are the questions. There are 7 questions. What do you see as the speech's topic and the claim? What do you think the speaker's trying to convince you of? So that's helpful information for the writer to know if the person's idea came across. Do you feel that like the speech is really addressing an audience? 3, how do you think the speaker makes him or herself seem credible, right? Give some feedback on that. How do you think the speaker or the writer kind of appeals to the audience emotionally? Do you see any of that? What about logic? And you can have suggestions on those areas. Did you find any place where you were a little lost? And then what did you most really love about the speech or feel was the strongest? And number 7, what do you think is one big thing it doesn't have to be a big thing, it'd just be one thing the speaker could do or the writer could do that would make the biggest difference. So in order to get the full credit, you need to do 2 reviews. You need to answer the 7 questions for each review, and you can type that up as a document and then upload and attach it to a person's discussion thread, or you can type the answers to those questions using the numbers. Use the numbers so I know that you answered each question, and then respond right in the discussion post typing your comments. So it's up to you how you want to do that. Okay, so I do hope this has been helpful, and remember, the perfect is the enemy of the good. That means don't hold out to try to make your first draft so perfect that you don't submit it, right? Get it as good as you can, but remember, you're going to have time between the first and final draft to really revise it, to perfect it. I'm going to send you comments on it. Students are going to send you comments on it to try to help you revise it and make it come in at an even higher level for the final draft. Okay, I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you're taking good care of yourself in the midst of kind of crazy times right now, right? With the virus and the election and everything else. Okay, students, take good care, and let me know if you have questions.